Hello everyone, Mrs. Old Farmer here, ready to share with you the excitement of my opening all of my new toys, my brand new sewing machine and serger that I just got from our local retailer, Gall Sewing and Vac here in Lansing. I've bought things from them several times in the past and they were very willing to work with me on price and extra features. I always enjoy purchasing from them, and I think it's a good idea to buy something this complicated and expensive from a local retailer where you can go later if you need some help or you're having a problem. I know that sometimes buying these items online can be cheaper, but I think you pay more in the long run if you run into any trouble. You know, I get good service from a local retailer, and they also offer discount to members of my sewing guild, so it's a win-win for everybody. Sewing can be very therapeutic. I got these machines after the death of a very dear friend. My husband encouraged me to trade in my older sewing machine, and my serger had really outlived its usefulness. One of the first models out there, and not even worth much as a trade-in. So I was able to get a good deal on both machines from my local retailer, who is Gall Sewing and Vac here in Lansing. I can see that my machines are very well packed, so I'm going to use my handy dandy knife that the old farmer gave me one year for my birthday. I did think it was a little bit of a strange birthday gift, but I can tell you that it has come in handy many times since. These boxes are very heavy. The store manager had to help me load them into my car. Okay, these appear to be some of the embroidery hoops. My gosh, they're huge. I have nothing to compare this to currently. And then here is the embroidery unit. This appears to be a box of accessories. That'll be very exciting to go through all of those and figure out what they're for. Okay, we have more hoops. The old farmer has taught me to be very safety conscious. I always close my knife when I'm setting it down, just the same as we do with our rotary cutters. Okay, fortunately, I already own a Brothers sewing machine, and I do recognize all of these parts that I'm pulling out, so I'm starting a little bit ahead of the crowd here, that I'm somewhat familiar with the way Brother machines are set up, and I have some experience on my previous Brother sewing machine, and all of these parts are interchangeable, so my old hoops will work on the new machine, my old presser feet, and so on. I did have to enlist the help of the old farmer getting these boxes into the house. They were very heavy, and yes, he's my hero. I'm trying to stay orderly with this unpacking, but what I really want to do is just throw all of this packaging in the air and rip off the plastic like a 3-year-old on Christmas morning and just start playing with it. But we'll try to be adult about this. Now I'm going to tackle unpacking the serger. There will be more bending and stooping here, although this box is not quite so heavy. I was a little bit shocked when I went shopping looking at new sewing machines. The price of these has risen to that of, you could get a fairly decent used car for what some of these machines cost, but when you consider all of the computerization involved, it makes sense that they're much more expensive than an old mechanical machine. I want to make sure that I didn't overlook any accessories inside this packaging, so I'm going to be very careful and check twice that I'm not throwing anything out. I'm saving the label with the model number and the serial number for recording later, and it will probably be necessary to register my sewing machine under warranty. I will be moving my sewing area to the first floor here in the living room. This machine is very, very heavy, and we are both a little bit leery about carrying it upstairs to the second floor space where I have previously been doing my sewing. At the time I acquired these machines, COVID was still raging and nobody was coming over to visit anyway, so turning the living room into a sewing room was no big deal. Looks like I have everything I need to get started. There are lots of little pieces in here. It's kind of like when I got a Barbie doll as a child. There was tons of little tiny accessories that provided hours of occupied playtime, and I think this will be the same. This is the owner's manual. I always read instructions. I am a visual learner, and I do like to read procedures, and in fact, when I was still employed, part of my job responsibility was to write procedures that were understandable for the users. I do like to actually read through the instructions, although this book is huge and I won't be reading it cover to cover, obviously, but hopefully I can find what I need when I need it. Okay, just cleaning up a little bit here. Again, we have lots of reading material here. I am a visual learner and I love these books and instruction sheets and so on, but there are videos on the Brother website with tutorials, and there is also audio help for those of you who are auditory learners. The machine itself has a quick start guide. If you're unfamiliar with Brother features, it's a good place to start, and also there's some information right on the machine itself. My retailer, Gall Sewing and Vac, offers free training and classes. It's a good reason to purchase from a local dealer if you can. Some other basics that I'm unpacking here. There is a foot pedal. I do still use a foot pedal, although there is also a knee control lever. Here's the power cord. Oh, this is something new. There are a couple of presser feet that have plug-in power attachments here. This is new to me. This is the first thing I made on my new sewing machine and serger. It was an upcycled men's shirt that I refashioned into a little shirt for our dog Maggie. I did an embroidery design for the old farmer on the back of her shirt so that she would know exactly to whom she belongs. This is a lovely machine to sew on. I realize that my chair is not ergonomic at all. It's a chair from our dining room set, and the table is also too high to be ergonomically correct. My elbows should be parallel to the floor, so I am unable to sew for hours on end without feeling it. But this is what I have, and so I make do. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little look at my new Brother sewing machine and my beautiful new AILMENT serger, and I hope it will encourage you to investigate some of the newer machines out there and elevate your sewing to a new level. Bye for now.
Before we go, it's important to quickly mention for all who are visiting to subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, and share with friends and family. Now for the most important part. Thank you to those who have subscribed. Thank you. And yes, thank you to those who are visiting. We value you too. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so that we may receive a pittance from YouTube to cover expenses. We replaced one camera, tripod, and bought a water-cooled editor for video production, plus all the tools we review. So if you could help us reach that 1,000 subscription point, thank you. Well, this is the old farmer Scott Bain. Be well, be safe, and be kind to someone.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.